The last piece of this, and I know I'm already pushing into your debate time, so I'm going to wrap this up, is alternatives in Batna. And for those of you who don't know, who haven't done a Getting to Yes course or something along those lines, Batna stands for Best Alternative to a Negotiated Agreement. And what it means is very simple. It means that at a certain point in whatever you're doing, you're going to reach a fork in the road. You're either going to reach an agreement of some kind as a way forward, or you're not. And what you're not going to, what's over here, is what are you going to do if you don't reach agreement? So your Batna is what is your best alternative if you don't reach agreement in this situation. We continue on the status quo, I take them to court, whatever the situation is, okay? The important thing about Batna is it's not reliant on the other side. So it's what are you going to do to try to satisfy your interest. So if you're a salesperson, you know, your Batna to one negotiated agreement is to be cultivating another client so that if that one falls through, you've got something else, okay? And you can't negotiate. I mean, the only way to negotiate is to know what your Batna is to know what compared to what, right? If the unemployment line is your Batna, then you might want to consider taking that job or negotiating more creatively, unless you've got another offer, right? But it's important to just understand that it's a backup plan. It's not a fallback option. So it's not I'm going to offer 10,000 and I'm really, you know, willing to take 5. It's what am I going to do if this fails? If we don't reach agreement here, what happens then? That's your Batna, okay? And it's a benchmark. It helps you to figure out what your bottom line is. It's not a bottom line per se. And it's really about empowerment. Like when you know your Batna, especially if you have a good Batna, if you know that there are a number of things that you can do, then you're not so reliant on this agreement or this deal. And that's important for you. And I don't recommend hitting the other side over the head with your Batna. That's not really the spirit of the idea. But people will say, well, what if the other party's being very unreasonable? And I say, look, if you have to share it, just share it as a natural consequence. It's like the difference between a warning and a threat, right? A warning is you say to your son, Johnny, don't go out in the street, you'll get hit by a car. A threat is, Johnny, if you go out in the street, I'll hit you with my car, right? It comes across a lot differently. And you want to share it that way when you're, if it happens. And so you want to think about, again, ask yourself, what will happen if we don't reach agreement? And there may be a number of alternatives you have. There may be a number of answers to that question. And then you want to ask yourself, what's the best one for me? And am I going to act on it? And on the flip side, you want to think about the Batna for the other. Like if we don't reach agreement here, what happens for them? How good is it or how bad is it? So that's the framework. I know you've talked about this. I just thought I would introduce a little bit of the how to you. And hopefully you'll see tonight and what you've been doing all along as a process, because it is a process. And the more you can engage, and I would really recommend, and I'm meeting with some folks tomorrow, really recommend that you try to tackle real world stuff that's in front of you. Use this process and have a success, because there will be nothing more effective to becoming a Getting to Yes community than having a success that you can point to and say, here's proof of concept. So thank you, I hope this is helpful, and good luck with everything.